Welcome to the Thunder Underground podcast. This is episode number 84. My name's Trent, and this is Jason.
Hello.
Hello. We've got 84 episodes down. This time we're going to talk about just some different stuff.
A few different things, yeah. Why not?
A few new songs that are out from a few different areas of rock and roll. And then, of course, the big thing being we just went to the Ride for Dime event in Dallas.
We'll get into that.
And, of course, we'll play some music for you like we always do.
Yeah.
But right off the bat, this is our first podcast since Metallica released Hardwired, their brand new track.
Yes.
And this is our first podcast, but we put a video on YouTube of us, basically our reaction type video.
Yeah, it was just a short, just a 15-minute deal.
It's not even video, it's just audio of us, but we did it exclusively on YouTube since it was just about the Metallica song.
Yeah, just something we could get up real quick and get the word out.
So get on there and listen to that. I mean, we're not going to go into 15 minutes worth of detail, but we'll talk a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, just real quick?
Oh, I mean, right out the gate, I loved how it was straight up old school thrash sounding.
Yeah.
Just pounding drums and that guitar riff. It just sounds old school. And we talk about this on there as well, that we both thought that we liked the sound better than Death Magnetic.
Of course.
Like how it just sounded tighter and fuller and heavier. And I think hopefully the whole album goes in that direction.
Of course. I mean, it's just hot, amped up, ready to go, short, in your face. They released a little making of video of it today.
Okay.
Like a little 10-minute, on their website, and it's on Blabbermouth, all that stuff. So, if you're interested, go look up that. And, if you want to hear more, look at our YouTube, reaction to that song. Yeah.
Our channel's The Thunder Underground, all one word. Pull that up on there, listen to it. We've also got, while you're on there, you can check out Battlecross from almost a year ago now.
Yeah. It's I think it's been almost a year.
Yeah. Our buddy Justin from Egotastic Funtime,
of course,
came out there and filmed it for us, and we've got the video version of our podcast with Kyle Gunther from Battlecross on there as well. But more importantly, right now, Metallica's got a new song. The album comes out November 18th, called Hardwired to Self-Destruct, and that's still 3 months away, basically, almost. And they've, of course, said they're going to do extensive touring. So hopefully we'll be talking to you in a few months about how we just saw Metallica play Bleeding Me.
That's right. That's right. Did you hear who's opening for them?
Battlecross and Mr. Big.
Oh, I thought it was, I thought it was, Monster Truck and Huntress, but whatever.
Well, that'd be amazing.
That's what I heard.
You being serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just making this.
I'm making it up, totally.
Okay.
Give you back some of your shit, buddy.
Yeah, okay.
What's up?
Nice.
Moving right along.
Yeah. Okay, another new song that came out a few weeks ago, I think, was Dee Snider. Just, he re-recorded We're Not Gonna Take It as a piano ballad, basically. And, I don't know, I think it's on his upcoming solo album, but it just kind of broke here in the last few days because they just released a video for it that I guess Chris Angel directed, as it's basically a thing to promote the charity, to help child cancer, that kind of thing. So Dee Snider got on board with that to help out. And I gotta say, this knocked me on my ass the first time I heard it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how good it was.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not saying I didn't think it wouldn't be good. I like Dee Snider. I've always loved his voice. He's not Rob Halford or anything, but he's got a great rock and roll voice. And this is just kind of proof, He took a song that's like one of the biggest, most well-known songs in hard rock history.
Anthems.
Yeah. And basically turned it into a completely different song but it still sounds like he sings, the verses and the chorus and everything in the same tone as the original, but obviously it's on a piano and slowed down, and it just makes it that much more powerful.
Yeah. I thought, I'm like you. I love his voice, and I love Dee Snider. I love, outspoken, driven. I love that kind of thing. And, it was a little weird at first for me because, the lyrics are pretty tough, and to see him in like an emotional way like that was a little weird, but that doesn't matter. And that's just, me being a dick, I guess. I mean, really, the performance was just like so raw and just so, in your face. I mean, he has a great voice, and, I just love that this guy can do a little bit of everything, and he doesn't suck at any of it. I didn't watch the video. I started to, and that kind of thing it's like sad, and it makes me bawl, and it pisses me off,
Right.
Well, it does, because it pisses me off because you've got, people worried about emails and building walls and fucking, shooting kids, and, but no one's doing anything about the real shit. And, it just drives me nuts. I didn't watch the video because I would have just punched through the window or something. But I mean, the song was just leveling. It really was. Hopefully this catches on a little bit better.
Yeah, it seems like the type of thing that would, a lot of guys or bands from this era, that even when something's amazing, that, mainstream doesn't pay attention.
Yeah.
But this seems like the type of thing that is, because Dee Snider's always kept himself into the mainstream a little bit, and, hopefully this will, like you said, catch on, go viral or something.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Dee Snider's age to be doing what he's doing still is amazing.
Yeah.
He sounds better than ever. He's in amazing shape. And I mean, this guy just doesn't stop, and that's great.
And he's absolutely one of the best frontmen you could ever see live.
Yeah, he really is.
I don't care what anyone says. That band, they're ending this year. They've still got shows left, so if you're lucky enough to go see them, we're fortunate enough to see them a few times over the past 10 years.
Yeah.
And they're just everything that they claim to be, they are,
Yeah.
One of the greatest rock and roll live bands there was.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. You see a lot of these bands are cocky and they talk big shit and all this stuff. Well, Twisted Sister does that, and then they back it up. And they can still back it up. So, I mean, that's just, you got to get behind that.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, look that up. I know it's on YouTube under Dee Snider and Chris Angel. If you want to see the video, or if you're like Jason, you don't want to see the video, I saw it's on Spotify. And I know the proceeds, if they're selling a single, are going to that charity, obviously. So that's another reason to check it out. Well, another song that came out that I'm surprised we haven't talked about yet, we forgot the last couple episodes, was there's a new Tesla song out. And they just had a new CD or a new album last year, or maybe it was 2 years, it was last year. But this is a new track that's going to be on their live album, which is coming out actually this Friday.
Gotcha.
And it's Mechanical Resonance Live, where it's the full album in its entirety live.
Okay.
It's not one show where they played the whole thing. They just played the 12 songs over different shows throughout that Def Leppard tour and combined them to one album.
Pieced it together. Yeah. Okay.
And then Phil Collen, while they're on the road with Def Leppard, produced and recorded this song with him. Yeah. And he actually wrote this song.
Gotcha. So he wrote the song.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's still, I guess they're talking now, their next album, he's going to produce it.
Oh, but, wow.
I mean, I don't think he's obviously not writing all the songs, but he wrote this one for them. Or if he had it, I don't know the story on that. But anyway, he's supposed to produce their next album. I know that much.
Yeah, it's funny. The song's called "Save That Goodness," and I mean, it's funny you say he wrote. I knew he produced it. I didn't know he wrote it because it sounds like your quintessential happy Tesla song.
Yeah,
I mean, it really does. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It just, it sounds like one of their kind of positive songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Well, the thing that jumped at me the first time I heard that was the verses going up before the chorus, at least the first couple, sound just like a Def Leppard song.
Really?
Just because he's singing, he's not singing in his higher scratchy thing, his toned down. And it's kind of like whenever Joe Elliott would sing one of those slow ballads.
Yeah.
It sounds just like that to me. But then, of course, it changes when it gets to the chorus. You don't really think about that. But yeah, I mean, it still has a Tesla sound, and it's, they're one of my favorite bands. I've been kind of critical of the last couple albums. They're good, but I don't think they're anywhere near as good as the first 5.
Okay.
But that's like, when they're one of your favorite bands, that still means that they're still better than most everything else out there.
Exactly. Well, and they are, they really are.
And this song, I think his voice is more powerful than most of the stuff from the last couple albums. It just sounds, there's not, you don't walk away from it thinking about Frank Hannon, which kind of sucks, like you do with a lot of Tesla songs. Yeah. But hey, you don't always have to do that.
That's right.
If it's just a good song, and like you said, it's positive. It's got the gospel elements and I know that lady is the singer from Delta Deep, which is Phil Collins' band with Robert or Dean DeLeo. Is that right? Or Robert DeLeo?
Yeah, Robert DeLeo.
Yeah, Robert from Stone Temple Pilots. It's like a blues band they have, which I haven't listened to, surprisingly. But
well, you got to get on that, check it out.
You probably haven't either. What are you talking about? Right?
Yeah, but you're a bigger Def Leppard fan than me,
right? But anyway, yeah, I mean, so good stuff from Tesla. It's on. I don't think it's on Spotify or iTunes, but I know it's on YouTube.
On Spotify. I had to check it on YouTube.
It will be. It should be Friday because that's when the album comes out.
Yes.
So definitely check that out if you're a fan of Tesla. All right. Well, I think we should play some music.
Let's get into it.
We're gonna play a band from Tulsa called Grind, which we've played before, but it's been quite a while.
Yeah. Actually,
it was episode 41. So that was over half our existence ago.
Yeah.
And that episode, Dell and CJ were actually guests on the show, so go back and check that out. It's a good one. This song's called Mirrors.
Guaranteed
Mirrors from Grind out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Get on their Facebook. We Are the Grind. We'll pull them up. Reverb Nation as well. You can hear that and several other songs. But there you go. That's just, how do you describe that other than just saying kick ass?
Oh, man, that band is so fucking good, man.
Yeah.
It's just like this just stomp and scream of just wet, raw fucking rock power.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, seriously. I just...
Dirty, swampy.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are
groovy,
great.
southern.
I know. Yeah, when are they playing again? We got to go see them. We haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah.
It's like, it seems like every time that like Grind and Senior Fellows are playing, I've got some shit, Oklahoma
There's another one.
Some shit's going on.
Yeah.
And it's time for the shit going on needs to be them fucking playing
Right.
and us finally going.
Yeah.
Cause they fucking kick ass. And, you got to get to see them, but I mean, they're so good. And I mean, that song just sounds just fucking badass. It's just sonic fucking muscle up your ass. Seriously.
Right. Yeah, that intro guitar, just that swampy thing is so cool. Then when it kicks in, you know, just everything about it.
Yeah.
Just that, like you said, that stomp and everything. And his vocals are just some of, you know, my favorite type of vocals where it's, you know, got an edge to it, a little dirty.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And, you know, they're a great live band, like you said. And I saw they've got, I think there's a couple videos from their Rocklahoma performance up there on YouTube, on their Facebook right now. So go check that out. And like I said, they're on Reverb Nation. And you can, of course, buy CDs from them if you see them at a show.
That's right.
And speaking of Grind, we saw CJ
Yes.
when we were in Dallas at Ride for Dime. So, just thought I'd throw that in there.
There you go.
Ran into CJ, Jake from Downtown Lounge.
Yes.
And, you know, of course, we went down there with Jason and Jennifer Carroll.
Yeah.
Had a great time.
Oh, I had a blast.
If you don't know what Ride for Dime is, it's Dimebag Daryl. That's an event that happens on his birthday or around his birthday every year.
Yeah.
And they just, you know, bring out bands that are either bands that had guys in it that he was friends with or like-minded bands that fit the vein of everything. And,
yeah.
You know, every year this is the first year we've got to make it, you know, but every year it's always got a great lineup.
Yeah. Every year we're just like, damn, we need to go.
Yeah. And I know they used to actually do a ride.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they do that now. I didn't hear anything about it this year or what.
I have no idea.
So where do we start?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was just, that was one of those things you always read about, or those shows that you always hear about and you never get to go to, and you got to go. And it was pretty special. It was pretty great.
Yeah. It just had a cool, you know, a vibe about it.
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
And it was at the Gas Monkey Live in Dallas, which is Gas Monkey's newer, bigger venue.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be a restaurant. Now it's huge.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where we're going to see Slayer and Anthrax and Death Angel here in a couple months. And
it's going to be great. It's a nice place.
Yeah, nice place, good setup. You know, it's spacious, and even with tons of people in there, you don't feel overcrowded and everything. And we got there in time for, man, I forgot to write down his name. The English guy.
Nick Bocott.
There you go.
Guitar World.
He was in Grim Reaper.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, from Guitar World. And he just got up there and basically played Pantera riffs for like 5 or 10 minutes. Just no vocals, just played the guitar and kind of did a big medley, you know?
Yeah, he's written and done all kinds of stuff for Guitar World for years. He's an amazing guitar player. He's a metalhead. And he just got up there, and I think he told a couple of stories. He'd do like just a medley of Pantera riffs, and then he'd do a medley of Dime solos. It was awesome. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it was one of those things that was well thought out, you know, to blend that stuff together.
Yeah.
And you've obviously got to be a good guitar player to play that stuff and to play, 5 or 10 minutes worth of it nonstop, you know, and when you're melding songs together and not just playing one song.
Yeah.
Well, we missed a couple bands, but the first band we got to see was Mothership.
Yes.
And this is a band I've seen the name around for a while, but had not heard them.
Yeah.
and I'm kind of sad now that I had not heard them before now.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, just that great, just kind of like fit the vein of what, you would expect from like someone under COC or that kind of thing. It's real heavy rock, kind of spacey, psychedelic-y.
Yeah.
But it also fits into that stonery kind of thing, and and Kyng, that same kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But just a little bit more spacey, I guess, than Kyng is. But
yeah.
it was just, they're a band out of the Dallas area, but I know they've got a good following. They're playing the Psycho Vegas thing this weekend.
Gotcha.
That big Doom festival, which would have been amazing to go to.
Yeah, that would have been great.
And so, yeah, it was really cool to see these guys, and they were over there at their merch table hanging out, talking to everybody. It was really a good band. Check out if you're not familiar with Mothership. And then came Honky.
Yes.
And I'd seen them like a couple years ago at some point opening for someone, but I just kind of don't really remember it.
Yeah.
I don't know how though, after seeing this, because they're memorable as fuck.
Yes, they are. I mean, those guys were fucking great. Bobby Landgraf is just an insane guitar player. I mean, it's a good, just a clear, amped up, heavy, just southern, just I mean, if that's your thing, this is it. I mean, it really is. Their album Corduroy is awesome. They do a kick-ass cover of Snorting Whiskey. I mean, I loved the vibe of this band. I really dug them.
Yeah. They're, if you're not familiar with Bobby, he's now in Down.
Yes.
And he took Kirk Winstein's spot. So the guy's got some fucking chops.
Yeah.
And they're playing Downtown Lounge September 23rd if you're in the Tulsa area. And
That's right.
I know Jake brings them in at least a couple times a year.
Yeah.
So you don't have an excuse if you're in this area or the Texas area they're around. Just like I said, a great band that hopefully gets some more attention and, gets on some tours or something.
Yeah. Like I said, Bobby's sound was just clear and just loud as hell. And I mean, it was just, this sounds dumb because it's an electric guitar, of course, but it was just electric. And I can't imagine that in Downtown Lounge. It's going to be amazing.
Right. And speaking of his guitar, that was CJ from Grind, who we just played.
Yeah.
The guitar that Bobby was playing was CJ's old guitar that Bobby now owns.
That's awesome. I love it.
There's another tie-in to Grind. We'll just keep bringing up Grind throughout this whole episode.
Okay. That's good.
Well, before we get into the final three bands,
okay,
Jose Mangin was hosting this whole deal.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with him, you're probably not really that much into metal. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you don't have Sirius, I can understand, but it's like this guy's basically like the biggest ambassador on Earth now, as single person as far as heavy metal goes, I think.
I think so.
When you think of what like Eddie Trunk is for like hard rock and classic rock, and all the stuff he does with that metal show, it's more geared towards the less extreme stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Jose's that way, but for everything heavy.
Yeah. Kind of everything else.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
And I mean, now he's, he started as a DJ, got on with Sirius and worked his way up to now he's like the program director, I believe, for both Liquid Metal and Octane.
Yeah.
So he handles the hard rock stuff as well as the metal stuff. And he's in tune with everything. He's as passionate as you can be about music. And like you mentioned when we were there, he's just extremely positive.
Yeah.
Like all the time. And he's been doing this for close to 20 years, I think. And it's still just like acts like he just got this amazing job.
Yeah, like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah.
And, that's the thing that grabbed me about him straight away is, when, over the years when, we've been familiar with him is, he's so positive and he's so, he's so happy and pure about all this. And you can tell it's not a front. I mean, he really is driven by this kind of thing. And that's what I look up to the most. And, we got to meet him. So that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, we walked up to him. He gave him a card and he said, "Hey, I've heard of you guys." And you think, well, he could probably just be saying that, but then he brought up seeing articles on Blabbermouth, and we've had a few on there, so I guess he was being serious.
So I could have died right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
That's a good feeling to know that someone that's at the level he's at has heard our name. Right?
That's right. And you know what? I wanted to geek out in my half drunken. Well, let's just say I was drunk, full drunken stage. I really wanted to geek out, but that sober person inside of me somewhere said, just be cool and just don't say a lot.
Right.
Just say thanks and shut up and get the fuck out of there.
Right.
Hell yes. And that's what I did. So it was great. It was great.
Yeah. But, I've had Sirius now for, I don't know, probably 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
Probably like 2003 or something. I don't know when I got it, but like, you say that about the positive thing. The first few times I heard him on the radio, I was like, why is this guy so fucking happy? It was almost, it was to a point of annoying at me at first.
Yeah.
But then, like, I would never stop listening when he was talking.
Exactly. Well, there
it's one of those things you don't, even though I was like, what the fuck, but I would never turn it off.
Yeah.
And then just like pretty quickly, it became that thing. It's like, this dude's probably just like I would be or something if I was on there geeking out about.
That's right.
Just metal and music that you love. So it's, and that was, like I said, 13 years ago probably. And here we are and he's still exactly the same way. And like you said, it's not fake.
Yeah, it's not a put on. And, segueing into the last three bands, he got up on stage with Kyng and they did Revolution Is My Name.
Yeah.
Jose sang it and it was pretty badass.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got a great metal voice and that's the other cool thing is they, everybody in there is a Pantera fan. They knew the song, but it's like anytime you see someone covering Pantera, it's usually like one of 5 songs.
Yeah.
So, and you know what those 5 are,
So to hear Revolution Is My Name, that was great.
Yeah. So for it to be something like that, which isn't as common, was really cool.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I hear that, think of that song and think of Kyng, they don't go together at all in my head. Mm-hmm. But even, they nailed it.
They pulled it off.
And Kyng is fucking amazing.
Kyng was amazing. We've talked about this before. I love that band. They grabbed me straight away when they came out. And then ask Jason and Jennifer. They heard me sing that song all weekend long.
Right.
Electric Crown.
Electric Halo.
Electric Halo, yeah.
This isn't Testament.
See, I already fucked up. Electric Halo, just God, in my head all weekend long. But that's just how much I love that band.
Yeah, man. We'd seen him live before at Rocklahoma, but like seeing him in this inside in this setting real up close, man, they're just a sight to behold.
Yeah, it was a treat for sure.
Yeah, and they're just phenomenal, just a phenomenal band. You can't, I don't know where else to go from there. Just check these guys out, 3-piece. It's like, hey, almost every band we saw was a 3-piece except for COC.
Yep.
Actually, it was. Every single band was.
But anyways, it's Kyng with a Y.
Yeah. KYNG, look them up. They've got 2 albums out, and they've got another one, I think they said, coming in October.
Yeah.
So by the time we see them, we're going to see them 2 more times in the next couple months. They're opening for Clutch with Zach Sabbath as well. Mm-hmm. And that tour is going all over the place, so check that out.
Of course.
And then they're also coming to the Downtown Lounge in Tulsa on November 2nd.
Sweet.
So, get to see a headline show from them finally.
Yeah.
And it being Downtown Lounge makes it that much cooler.
Of course.
So, and then later in the night, we ran into Eddie and Kyng.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And anyway, just a great band. So then next up is Prong.
Yeah.
And it's been probably 3 years since we saw him.
Yeah, we saw him with Clutch.
Yeah, when they were opening for Clutch. Yeah. And it's funny to mention that, like, the first time I ever saw Prong was on the Cleansing Tour in 94, 95.
Yeah.
And Clutch was opening for them.
That's right.
And then 20 years later, Clutch brings them back out, which is really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
And Prong's just one of those bands who have never lost, especially the last few years, they've pumped out like 4 albums. Or 3 original albums and a covers album.
And it's fucking good stuff, too.
Yeah. There's no bullshit. It's not like they're just putting stuff out to put it out. I mean, it's all good. It's all quality. Just one of those bands that just never truly got the respect they deserve.
Yeah.
Same could be said for COC later, but I mean, Tommy Victor's just one of those guys that he just nails it, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, I really love Prove You Wrong and Beg to Differ and Headbangers Ball, and that's when I started listening to them. And then when Cleansing came out with Snap Your Finger, Snap Your Neck, and they got a pretty big pop out of that.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of it just kind of went different way there for a while. So I'm glad to see that they're still here and they're still putting out quality stuff. And they put on a great show. It sounded amazing. Those riffs were crystal clear. Everybody was singing along. It was a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's cool. His voice has kind of shifted over the years.
Yeah.
Which is odd that it's shifted the way it has, I think, because it's more clean than it used to be.
Yeah. But I mean, it still sounds like him.
Yeah. It still sounds like him, and it's still rough at times, but it's just phenomenal. To me, everything that he's done.
Yeah.
And just to be right up there up front for all that. And then
oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah, when they start playing Whose Fist Is This Anyway, I start geeking out,
yep.
turn around and giving you and Jason Carroll and the dude next to me high fives because it's time to rock.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, and then speaking of geeking out, as soon as that's done, COC comes up.
Oh yeah.
And first off, like you mentioned, singing along during Prong, it was a great feeling to be, I didn't look way far behind me, but I was down towards, in the front. There was only one or two people in front of me. And just everybody around me was singing the word to every damn song.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what it was.
That tells you the how deep this band runs.
Yeah.
And how glad people are that they're back.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, they never went away, but this incarnation, that's how glad people are that they're back. They're starving for this stuff.
Yeah. And they're one of those bands that when you see live, I don't know how to say this without sounding dorky, but there's just a different feeling because you can tell all four of them, especially Mike Dean and Woody Weatherman, look like they're just completely immersed into what they're doing. They're completely lost and just like if they were just in their room playing by themselves, or in a stadium in front of 100,000 people, it's they're just focused in on the music and just doing it.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's what translates and makes them that much greater.
Yeah.
And better. I really liked it's funny if there's any song that they have that you've heard a million times, it's Clean My Wounds. And, they keep that song fresh. They do this kind of reggae kind of breakdown, towards the end of it.
Right.
Where it comes down, then it comes back up. And it's just, I really enjoy that. I think that's a smart idea. I think it's unique as hell. And it just shows how good all of them are at, all different kinds of music.
Yeah. Yeah, and they pulled out a few tracks that I was happy to hear, Who's Got the Fire?
Oh, man. Dude, that was the one. I mean, you know me.
Yeah.
I mean, I sang every word to that like a fucking fan geek boy. I didn't care.
Oh, I did too.
I didn't care.
And then they played Senior Olympio.
Yeah.
And,
yep.
What was another one? King of the Rotten.
Yeah.
Which, those are songs you usually don't get if it's a shorter set. And, thankfully we got a full, I think it was an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was another cool thing that even other bands like Prong and stuff played a full hour.
Yeah.
And I think Kyng was close to an hour. So, it was cool that they were giving everybody the time, because it started at 5, a little after 5 and went clear to 1:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, see, like you said, I'm excited. Pepper Keenan's one of my favorite musicians of anything ever. His vocals and his guitar work. And just to have him back and COC and the fact that they're making a new album.
Yeah.
And, see Reed Mullen up there, the whole band just has this monster sound, and it's he's got literally 4 drums in front of him.
Yeah. What's that tell you?
Yeah.
That tells you that the motherfucker can play.
Yeah.
That's right.
Less is more.
That's right.
When you're that badass.
That's right.
And speaking of Reed Mullen, episode 61, Reed Mullen was on our podcast. You know, that's one of our both of us one of our favorite ones that we've had. You know, because like we said, been fans of these guys since forever, and you know, he just sat out there, you know, at midnight after the show at the Brady and talked for like 45 minutes. So it's a real good one. You got to go check that out.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, are we forgetting anything about the actual show itself?
I think that wraps it up.
Yeah. I mean, once it ended, they brought everybody on stage.
Yeah.
Prong wasn't up there, I don't think, which is kind of odd. Maybe they had already left, but
yeah.
You probably don't remember it all.
No, I don't. By that time, it was getting. Hey, I remembered the show.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, they brought everybody up on stage, you know, and they were auctioning off, you know, some stuff like some skate decks that had everybody, all the bands had signed, and some other stuff, and so that was cool. And Rita, you know, Dimebag's, I don't want to say widow, but his girlfriend for his whole life was there, and you know, I know that she's one of the organizers of this whole thing.
Yeah.
So she's obviously always going to be there. And
yeah.
Anyway, just an amazing time. Glad to finally get to go to one of these things, and I don't think there won't be a future one we don't go to unless something comes out. Like if Grind's playing in Tulsa on the same night, we'll go to Grind this time.
That's right. That's the damn right. And hey, I will tell you one thing. I was awake during the creepy ass fucking drive home back to the hotel.
Right.
The creepy fucking Uber ride. I don't know what the fuck that was, but I remember that vividly.
Yeah, the guy took like a dirt road in the middle of Dallas.
Yeah.
Or a gravel road. And,
yeah, fuck if I know. I don't know.
And I remember that Jason had like fell asleep and then woke up and he's like, "Are we on a fucking dirt road
yeah,
in the
I
middle
thought
of
we were
Dallas?"
gonna die. Like I said, there's gonna be like some clown with one balloon was gonna show up right in the middle of the road and butt rape us all.
We were literally like less than 3 or 4 miles from the venue again. And it took like 30 minutes to go down this road because there was potholes everywhere. Anyway, the next day, August 20th was Dime's birthday. August 21st, when we were leaving, we went over to the cemetery.
Yeah.
To his gravesite.
Yeah.
You know, I'd been out there once before a few years ago. That's the first time I know you've been out there.
Yeah, I'd never been out there.
So, you know, it's kind of like one of those guys that everybody wants to go check out. The gravesite, you know, because they've got an amazing, you know, stone, or like whatever you call it. Not the gravestone, but the thing that's on the ground.
Yeah.
Just an amazing memorial type thing for him. And the cemetery itself's way more beautiful than most cemeteries. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so it's just an experience. If you're a fan of metal or Pantera, you got to go by there and check it out.
Yeah. I will say one thing. I think it's kind of not cool that people were scratching their names in it and scratching messages in it and trying. You could tell people had been trying to like take chunks of it and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think that's fucking lame. So,
it doesn't
don't do that at all. Have some respect.
Just like fucking, you know, leave something, you know?
Yeah.
Like there, you know, when we got there was like a huge stack of, you know, disposable shot glasses and an empty bottle of Jack. So obviously a group of people went out there, did their shots with Dime and left it. You know, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You don't fucking try to take a chunk out of the fucking gravestone.
Exactly. You know? Or scratch something and scratch some kind of words into it.
Yeah.
Heathens.
Take a little Ziploc with you and take a tiny bit of the dirt that's near it, you know, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Cool to, you know, just be able to go there and pay your respect and all that. So I'm sure we'll do it again. I don't know if next time we go, but at some point down the line, you know.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I know that there's a couple shows coming up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You know, August 27th in Fayetteville.
Right.
We get a DMG show, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Scorned's single release party.
Gotcha.
They're headlining, and they've got, I've seen them talk about on Facebook and everything, they've got their single that they're not even putting out as MP3 or anything. Like, the only way you can get it is this CD. And
nice.
I think maybe after that, at some point, they're going to put it out.
Yeah.
But you can get the new Scorned CD, and then Crane Technique and Agents of Khaos are going to be there as well.
Yeah.
And we know all three of these bands are good. They all have a little bit different style. All heavy as fuck. Great stuff.
Hell yes.
And that's in Fayetteville. I didn't write down. I think it's JR's.
Okay.
And then same day in Stigler, out there at the lake. I can't remember the name of the lake.
Okay.
But there's probably only one lake in Stigler. You know. They've got the Rock the Equinox event going on.
Gotcha.
And this is headlined by Katya. And
Okay.
that's... The cool thing about this is her backup band for the show is going to be Jason Tatum and Travis Davis from Devil You Adore.
Nice.
And I know her tour's starting now, and I know she's got dates in Japan and everything.
Wow.
But so this is a cool deal for Travesty and Jason, I think. So
Yeah.
I'm glad they're getting to do that. And then, of course, they're playing the show as well.
W Door.
And then we've got Reliance Code
Okay.
and Vague Vendetta.
Nice, nice.
So we've talked about all these bands. We've either seen them live or played their music. We even had Devil You Adore on here. You know, check all these bands out. Hopefully, you know, we've talked to Reliance Code about being on here, even Vague Vendetta. So
Yeah,
I'm
we
sure
need to
that'll
get that
happen.
going for sure, yeah.
All happen soon enough.
Yeah.
So the 20th was Dimebag's birthday,
Yeah.
like we mentioned. And I just kind of saw, like, over that day and 2 or 3 days after it, I just kept seeing several things of, like, birthdays and you know, anniversaries of things. And it's like that same day was the 20-year anniversary of October Rust coming out by Typo Negative.
Yeah.
And then I think the next day was like the 26th anniversary of State of Euphoria by Anthrax coming out.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Got great records,
Yeah.
both of those.
Then the next day was like Lane Staley's birthday.
Yeah.
And I think it was also like the 26th anniversary of Facelift coming out.
Yeah, another great record.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something else I'm forgetting, but it was kind of, you know, cool. Yeah, all three of those albums amazing. And of
Yeah.
course, Lane Staley and Dimebag amazing. So there you go. There's some
A lot of
quick
stuff.
history for you.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to celebrate.
Yeah.
All amazing, great, top shelf stuff, by the way.
Yeah. And speaking of top shelf stuff, TheThunderUnderground.com. All the podcasts are embedded on there. You can go straight to SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground. 83 previous episodes. All kinds of guests. We've mentioned some of them earlier.
Yeah.
We've also had on Chris Broderick, Kirk Winstein, CJ Pierce from Drowning Pool, guys from Battlecross and Soil and Insight and Murder FM and Scattered Hamlet, and Wino from The Obsessed.
Miss May I.
Oh, yeah. I always forget to mention that.
Yeah, Ryan Neff, Shooter Jennings,
Yes.
Ian Moore, Mark Torian from Bullet Boys,
Yes.
Mark Gus Scott from Trickster,
Joey Allen from Warren.
Joey, Fist of Rage. Yeah, I mean, we've had, Grind, go listen to that episode, because we're mentioning them a lot this episode, so we'll do it again. Senior Fellows, Mike DiPetrillo twice from Driver,
Yes.
Scott Bond. We've had all kinds of stuff. So you guys just, just go crazy.
Yeah. And speaking of Fist of Rage, they're opening up for Faster Pussycat at OKC City Limits in OKC.
That's right.
I think that's September 10th.
Yeah.
And the day before that, Faster Pussycat is playing here during Streets Gone Wild in Tulsa.
Yeah.
Which has also got Night Ranger, Steelheart, Warrant, Queensryche, Lillian Axe, Vixen,
Yeah. But that
Quiet Riot.
that one in Oklahoma City, that's a show to go to because it's got Paulette.
Yeah.
So, do that one.
Yeah. And Don Jameson is hosting the event.
That's right. That's
So that
right.
makes it that much cooler. I wonder if he'll be at Streets Gone Wild the day before.
You never know.
I would assume if he's on tour with them.
That's right.
So there you go. Don Jameson is going to be on this podcast. I just stated it out loud.
Calling it now, huh?
Yeah.
Kind of like with James Hetfield, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's still coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. November 18th.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, shit is getting deep now.
Right. Well, like I said before, TheThunderUnderground.com. There's reviews, there's pictures, there's podcasts, and then you can get on YouTube /TheThunderUnderground. Subscribe to us because we're probably going to have some more of these YouTube exclusive, shorter segment things. And then we're on Instagram at TheThunderUnderground, Facebook /TheThunderUnderground. We're on Twitter, THNDRUNDR Ground. Periscope, The Thunder Underground. I think that covers it.
I think so, too.
All right. Well, before I keep rambling, Until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.